Hey, Grace and Grit organization, and a special hello to our newest team members. We are so incredibly excited that you're joining us here tonight as new members of the Grace and Grit organization. Now, I was scheduled to go live at exactly 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern, so I am a little bit early because I wanted to give people a chance to get on and not to miss a single thing. So hopefully this is popping up. Here we go for some of our newest people so that you are jumping on. And then there is the beauty of Facebook, which allows us to get on and watch this at any time. So I have a problem seeing, so I apologize in advance that I can't always notice exactly who's here and answer your questions and stuff. But I am Mary Grace Lewandowski. I am an executive company vice president with Park Lane Jewelry and the very proud leader of this particular organization, Grace and Grit, within the Park Lane family. And you'll find that there's 3 executive company vice presidents in Park Lane Jewelry, and they each are part of their, are the head of organizations, although we all work together in order to make Park Lane a wonderful and better place. But you'll start to kind of understand the hierarchy and all that, the way that everything works around here. But I am one of your main trainers. I am the great grandmother of the group. Whoever invited you to our call or invited you into Park Lane is your direct recruiter. And then they have a leader most likely that is over them. And then I most likely am either over their leader or have that leader direct to me, if any of that I just said makes sense. But we are all here to work together, and we're all here to help you. So your actual leader, either your senior division or your division leader, sales vice president, company vice president, they will have their own their own groups for you to, organizational groups for you to join on Facebook. So they'll have their own schedules, their own ways of doing trainings. It's kind of like I'm the superintendent of the schools, and I wouldn't be able to take care of every single child in the schools, not that your children, let's say, or every single teacher, let's put it that way, in the schools. So then I'm the superintendent, and I have some people who report directly to me, but then I also have other buildings, and these buildings each need their principal, and they need to be having their own class times, their own schedule times and stuff. And as an ex-teacher, it makes so much sense because you just can learn more if you're in a smaller group setting, and you can develop closer relationships and stuff. But regardless, I am always, always, always here for you, as is your leader. So we are so easy to reach in today's age. And, there's just the best way to reach me is by texting, messaging. We do keep hours, family time and stuff like that. So we won't always be able to answer you immediately, but we're generally pretty responsive. So I'm just kind of killing some time here to allow people to get on. But I just wanted to let you know that one of the things somebody said to me when I was new to the industry, they said, because I was probably just like a lot of you were feeling nervous. Where do I start? What do I do? It's not medical supplies. We don't sell oxygen or anything. It's not like anybody is going to die or have huge health issues because you don't get a jewelry question answered. And that's one of the things that I've always absolutely loved about this industry is that, we can do a really great job, but nothing is that stressful. Nothing is that overwhelming. And I do really admire all of you who are, anybody who's ever joined this business, but also all of you that are particularly new to our organization right now. There is a statistic out there that only 5% of people in the world will take a chance on something. 95% of people in the world are into what they call failure avoidance. So they'll stay on the straight and narrow, do their own thing. They'll complain about their situation, but they won't really do anything about it. So the fact that you're actually here and willing to take on something new is really, really, really a fantastic, wonderful thing that sets you apart from other people. And most of us, you have to be over 18 to start this business. So let's face it, most of us, I'm older than most of you, but we're not ever really forced to take on something new. at our particular juncture in life. So it's a very uneasy, uncomfortable feeling to be new at something, but you will find that it's really, really good for you. It's really good for you to be taking on something new and trying something new. So what's going to happen, you guys, is I want to give you a second and make sure that you have pen and paper to write on. So just give me a thumbs up once you have paper and pen in front of you, because you are going to be taking notes. And if you were sitting with me here in person, I would be sure to warn you that I give you a lot of information in a short time. But I do that because my time is limited with you right now. And my job, really, above all others, okay? I used to be a second grade teacher, and I used to feel like I did feel, and I still feel, that my most important job when I was dealing with those little kids, my most important job at that second grade level especially, was to just promote in children a love of learning. For them to be just super stoked about everything that there is to learn in the world, have an adventurous spirit, and to want to go out and learn on their own, not just what I was able to teach them, and they might not even remember what I taught them, but maybe they would remember the joy and adventurous feeling of being able to learn new things and find answers. So obviously we're all adults here and it's a different thing, but I do believe that my most important job as your leader and as the leader of all of the leaders in this organization is to get you to dream. So a lot of times your particular leader or the person who brought you into Park Lane is going to want to give you things in bite-sized pieces so you don't get overwhelmed. And I am a huge proponent of that. I believe in that. So we will be breaking things down in bite-sized pieces. We won't give you anything. We don't want to have you drink out of a fire hose. But I may give you an overview today that makes you feel like there's more information than you particularly needed tonight. But it's because I want to make sure that you have the big picture, because if somebody had taught me the big picture earlier, I might have gone for bigger things earlier. And there's just so much wonderful potential in this particular job. So I'm going to try to keep us at just an hour. And if I have to come back tomorrow for some more, I will. But I'm not going to keep you for more than an hour tonight. And do forgive me if I'm going to have to look down at some of my notes. But I have a whole outline here, and I want to make sure that we're not missing anything. Now, one of the things I love to do is to kind of give you a little bit of the history of, there's my thumbs up. Good job, guys. I want to give you the history of the company a little bit. And the reason I want to do that is because I find that when we know the history or where we came from as Park Lane, what we're part of, it helps us to represent it better. It helps us to be super proud of it. It helps us to do a better job. So just in a nutshell, Park Lane was started in 1955. What's really fun about Park Lane is we were one of the original direct sales companies. It's right about that time that Stanley Home Products was one of the only direct sales companies. Mary Kay got started around that time. Mary Kay's sister-in-law started Home Interiors. You might not have even known they were related. Home Interiors is out of business. Mary Kay, of course, is still in business. But we really were the forerunners of that, some of the founders of that whole, bringing that whole model. And the only one that I know of that is still going so strong and is cash rich and debt free. These are really big things, and family owned. So we never sold out to stockholders or all of that. So it really is a different animal that we work for here. And I am super proud to represent Park Lane, because honestly, you think sometimes oh, come on. They say we're part of their family, but no, really, they really feel that way. They really feel that way. So when Arthur and Shirley started Park Lane Jewelry, they knew they wanted to start a direct sales company. They knew they wanted to create a company and wealth that would extend to their children's children. And they have done that for sure, because the third generation is working in our offices already. But then they realized when they sold the company to their children, they had 9 children and 3 guys bought the company, I think it was right around 2002. And when Arthur, Mark, and Scott purchased the company, they were very respectful of everything that their parents had created. But there were a couple things that they wanted to change. And because they made these couple of really major changes, it totally turned our company, it was unbelievable growth weekly, not monthly, not yearly, but weekly because of these changes they made. So in 2002, they made two major changes. And one of the things they did is, if you can believe it, up until 2002, we couldn't use computers. We didn't have computers to enter our orders. We had to write in our orders and send them in with money orders and stuff. Can you even imagine? We couldn't take credit cards from other people. Everybody had to pay with like money orders or checks or whatever. So it really was a lot more work. So the first thing, the first thing that the Sons did was implement where we could use computers to enter our orders, and we could use credit cards to enter our orders, and that customers could use credit cards. Can you imagine? This is part of what led to the double-digit growth. The second thing they did is Arthur and Shirley, the original founders, used to have a rule that you weren't allowed to recruit somebody who didn't live within 50 miles of a really strong leader. So like if there wasn't someone like me within 50 miles, someone wouldn't be allowed to start Park Lane. Now, when they started that company in 1955, there was a lot of value in that particular thinking, because Shirley especially was like, I don't want someone in Timbuktu taking one of my kids and misrepresenting Park Lane. I want them to do it in a right way. I want this to be all, super ethical and stuff. So she implemented that rule. Well, by 2002, it kind of had run its course. So the reason that I'm telling you this is because I'm on the Zoom right now, or the Facebook right now, with so many of you who are in all different states, all over the world, right? All over the country. I literally train people all over the world now, okay? As do some of my cohorts, because we can reach you in such different ways now. That wasn't possible when Arthur and Shirley first started the company. But in 2002, things like that became possible. So the borders were opened up, and it wasn't that we could only recruit someone within 50 miles of us. We were allowed to recruit all over the country. Now, the reason that I feel that it's super important to make you guys aware of it, and some of you have probably been around a while and weren't even aware of this, is because if you think like, how can Park Lane be around since 1955 and there's still so many people who've never heard of them? That's why. Because many areas, like here in St. Louis where I live, we could be on our third generation of people. But if somebody like me started in 1955, I worked until I was 70, I retired or passed away or whatever, not only would the area go dormant because I couldn't train people, but they weren't allowed to hire anybody new. They weren't allowed to recruit anybody new. So you will hear sometimes like, my grandma or my great-grandma or somebody talked about Park Lane, and that's why. So this is part of the dream, you guys. This is part of the really important dream, is that you are in a position right now where you're probably one of the first people in the area to really get out there and talk Park Lane. What's really super exciting too is you don't even have to be in the area, because we can sell anywhere. So we can do anything online. There's so many possibilities now. So don't underestimate the power that you have to really help this reverberate for a very long time. Your reality is not reality. So when we say in our own circle, like, I can't get anyone to support me, I can't get anyone to have a show. Well, that's not reality. That's your reality right now, but we don't have to sell to just people that we know right now. We can cultivate new relationships and find new ways to do it. So don't give up before you get started, because I was new once, and I know the things that can happen when you are being fed misinformation, or you're kind of having an attitude that this isn't going to work, because it will work if you do. It might not necessarily work overnight, which we would all love, but it will work if you do. And goodness knows, success leaves clues, and enough of us had made it work that you can be very sure that I'm telling you the truth here. Okay, so there's something that I want you to do for me right now, and I would actually love if you would take the time to put it in the comments. But something that we sometimes don't do, and even if you've been with Park Lane a while and you're watching me right now, I want you to do it again, because this changes. But what is your why? Your WHY question mark. I know it sounds a little crunchy granola, California. Sorry, Californians. I know it sounds a little like woohoo, right? But no, it's super important. Why are you here? What do you want to accomplish? And try to be as specific as possible, because I find the people that have an actual goal do the best. So if you're here to just say, I want to make extra money. Okay, but let's break that down a little bit. Seriously, like how much extra money right now would really help? So I'll give you a for instance. When I was new in direct sales, I broke it down to, I wanted to pay for our groceries. I wanted to pay for our groceries with my direct sales business so that it would save my husband that stress and that particular expense and feel like found money to him. So how much were our groceries? This will make you laugh because it was in 1995 that I started this business, I think, or something like that, 1998. At any rate, our groceries at that time for a family of 6 were normally about $100 a week at the grocery store, and probably about another 50 or 100 at like Sam's Club at that time is all we had, okay? We had a big family, and that probably sounds like hardly anything now, but things have gone up. We make more money now and stuff too. So anyway, my goal was to make $200 a week. So what I did is I broke it down, and at that time, on the average show at that time, and this was a different company because we didn't make as much as we did here at Park Lane, but at that time, an average show would bring in $100. Therefore, if I wanted to make $200, then my goal was to do 2 shows a week, thereby being able to count on the $200. So I wrote down my original goal for a month, and I said, okay, 200 times 4, is $800. I actually took a sticky note, very old-fashioned way to do it. Still do it old-fashioned like things like this today. I put a sticky note with $800 on the sticky note. Off I went to do my first show. I made $150 at my first show. I still remember running home to wake my husband up and tell him how excited, and we all cheered, okay? I went to that sticky note, I crossed out the 800, and I put 650. So I was like, to go, right? Like I made 150, I have 650 to go. And then I went and did my second show, and you get where this is going. But because I could see the results, because I had an actual goal, it really kept me reaching, it kept me wanting more, it kept me like focusing on something. And I do find in today's world, especially with the online element, we just don't do that. And then we spend more time stewing than doing, and we feel like things aren't working when actually they are. So I really encourage you to put down your why in as narrow as you can make it. So it's not like I want to travel the world, but it's like where's someplace you really want to go, okay? And let's start with something that's kind of like horseshoes, maybe a little bit of a reach, but not like, So where do you want to go? Or, what do you want to do? What do you want to do that would not do right now with the income that you have? Or maybe you would, but it would make you suffer. What do you want? And maybe it's simple as like, I want my daughter's prom dress. I want to pay for a certain sports camp for my kids. I don't want to give you all the answers. But again, if you choose a why and you're focused on it from the beginning, it's going to give you a sense of accomplishment, and it's going to make you continue to reach and feel better. It's also very good for your wet water committee. You might not know what a wet water committee is, but you're going to have one. And those are people that want to dump water on your fire. They want to dump water on your dreams. They right away want to tell you why this isn't going to work. And it has absolutely amazed me from day one how people feel that they have the right to do that. Like I would never tell someone like, oh, don't be an accountant. I'm not an accountant. So why would I tell someone not to be an accountant? What could I possibly, what advice could I possibly give them that I would have had information on? And I feel like the same way in direct sales. If you want to get a true opinion about direct sales, then you ask those of us who are doing direct sales. Not someone who tried direct sales and didn't really do it, but someone who's actually doing direct sales. And we'll give you honest answers about the potential, about the ways to do it, about where you're going to feel frustrated. We'll be real with you. But the Wet Water Committee, they have their reasons. They want to support us. They think they're doing that by being negative. But you just got to put blinders on, and you got to be laughing all the way to the bank. I had people that absolutely told me it was the dumbest thing I ever did that later ended up asking if they could work for me. Okay? They certainly liked riding in my car, and they really loved when I paid for their vacations and stuff. So you just think that I had a plaque on my desk that said the best revenge is to succeed. And boy, was I vengeful in a very happy way. Okay? So we don't let that happen. Now, one of the things that I think is most important to get out there is if you were here in my presence, but I'm going to ask you to do it wherever you are. I want you to raise your hand if you've ever canceled anything. Now, if I had you all in this room here, every single hand would go up. You guys, people cancel, okay? It's why airlines overbook. It's why doctors overbook. It's why when I go to get on a plane, they're saying we need somebody to take a voucher or whatever, okay? They overbook because people cancel. So someone's going to cancel on you. Someone's going to let you down. Someone's going to either say they'll have a show for you and then never call you back or do it. Someone's going to say that they'll do a Facebook thing and then not invite anybody to it. This is going to happen because it's the nature of people. And the way to get ahead of that is for us to overbook and implement some strategies that we've learned so that we know a better way to make sure that we're keeping people in line and having fun and wanting to do it. But when somebody cancels or doesn't do what they're supposed to do or lets you down, that is not a sign that you should quit. It is not a sign that nobody supports you. It's just one of those things that happens. So I always talk about that because I always found those was usually my first discouraged calls. Were my mother, and people would be like, my mother won't even support me. My mother won't have a show. My mother won't even come to my show, things like that. And I'm like, you know what? I'm pretty sure when Sam, I forget his last name, Sam Walmart, the guy who invented Walmart, or started, I'm pretty sure that when he was ready to open his flagship store, that he didn't stand up on the tables and say, close the doors, I'm not going through with this, my mother can't come. Okay, so that's not a good enough reason. And people say, people I know don't wear jewelry. Well, who cares? I used to sell steel. And do you know, my dad was my biggest fan. He was such a great dad. He was my biggest cheerleader. And do you know he never bought a single piece of steel for me? That, I won't say the word. But you're laughing at home, probably, or you would be if you were here, just to make me feel better that someone's laughing at me. But why would he buy steel? My dad didn't need steel, and he didn't like steel, and he didn't want steel. But other people did. And I went and found out who needed steel. Well, in the same way, maybe some people close to you don't wear jewelry. But we definitely can turn them after a while, but we're not going to do it just like that. But there are people out there, the majority of the world, that absolutely wears, loves, or is open to the idea of jewelry. So these are just really super important things that you kind of get out of your own mental way when you're new. And it would be true of any business, not just Park Lane, not direct sales business. Okay, so getting started. There's several ways that we can carry out our business. I personally like to employ all the different ways that we can do our business. You may already have decided that there is a certain avenue in which you want to take your business, but it's always kind of fun to be open to the other ideas. So one of the ways, and the ways that years ago was really our main way and only way, is in-home shows. That used to be the main way that we did our business. It still is a way to do our business. I still love them, okay? So it's definitely an avenue to do our business, is to actually get in people's homes, to bring our jewelry, and to show the jewelry, okay? Another way to do our business is by personal appointments. Actually, this is a really fun way to do a business. It's when you meet with people one-on-one, or just say bring a friend, 2 or 3 of you guys. You decide to meet in a wine bar, a Starbucks, a library. Well, that might get too loud. But someplace like that, your house, their kitchen table, whatever, no big deal. And it's kind of like you're their personal stylist, okay? One of the smartest ways to start your business is to do personal appointments. And we made this up way back when, but it's literally to be like, hey, so-and-so, you're someone who I've always admired. I absolutely love your taste. I'm super excited because I'm starting in the jewelry business. I have a feeling you may know more about jewelry than I do. It would mean so much to me if you would allow me to come and show you some of my pieces, and if you would just give me your opinion. We still do personal appointments in our business to this day using those same exact types of words. And then we, start to unroll the jewelry, ask them to write down what they like, and we just use the, like at the end, like, do you know of anybody that would be really excited to take advantage of my customer sale, to take advantage of having a few people over, right back here again, but bring some people, and they could get free jewelry. They work beautifully, okay? Another way is the whole online part. Okay, now there's several different ways to do your business online. One of the ways that I recommend that you do immediately is when you start your business, one of the most powerful, necessary things to do is to have your own show. If you're not willing to have your own show, that is just, you're really missing the boat, okay? Because this is a way for people to know and be advised that there's a transition happening here and that you are going to be the jewelry lady, okay? Now you can invite people, they won't all come, but you can do this in several different ways. You could do an in-home show at your own house. You could have a bunch of people or some people come to a Starbucks or whatever, or you could do it online. One of the ways that I love to do it is like this, okay? Now, right now, this is Facebook Live, so it would be like creating a group, inviting your friends to the group, and then the person who recruited you would do your show this way, okay? Maybe you could do it side by side, like sharing the screen. That's always fun. Or the person could just present the jewelry in this way and let everybody in the Facebook group, just like you guys are watching me now, show them jewelry this way. Another really effective way that I like a lot is Zoom. So we'll do a Zoom, and it's almost like the Brady Bunch, so I can see everybody in their little boxes and stuff, and I can just spotlight myself when I'm showing the jewelry, but it's almost like being in a room with them. The hybrid way is super powerful, and that's when you're kind of doing both. So let's say I have a live show tomorrow. I'll be going there to do the live show, but I also would have asked the hostess to let me know who from out of town or who can't come that would be interested in hearing about the jewelry, placing orders or whatever. So this is super brilliant thing to do, because I would do a little presentation like this on Facebook as well as the live presentation. Or I've had people set up the Zoom and they have their relatives on the Zoom from across the country, and I'm doing the show for the people present and facing towards the Zoom. There's several different ways you can do this, but it is really powerful. Now, the reason that I think you as new people should definitely do some kind of Facebook one, if you have Facebook, and there's other ways, don't worry if you don't, but if you have Facebook, it's really smart way to do it, because what we would do is create a Facebook group. You would personally invite friends and family to your show through the Facebook group. The person that recruited you will do your show this way and let everybody know that you're going to be doing it. Well, when we're finished with the show, we would turn that Facebook group into your VIP group, your customer group. So when you hear that some of us, most of us, have like a VIP jewelry group, that's how you get that group started. And the smartest, most brilliant way to do it is by having a show, because that gets them, So when the person, like, let's say I was doing your show, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, we are so excited that Brenda is going to be part of our Parkling family. I'm doing this show for her, but you are going to want to pay attention to what she starts putting up on this group. Right now, it's like a party group. You're commenting and everything, and you all know each other or know of each other, or she knows all of you. But what's going to happen is this group is going to grow and grow and grow. It's going to get bigger and bigger. She's going to be running special sales in here, fun little trending tips about what's in jewelry, showing you like the minute that a new item comes out. It's so much fun. It becomes a very fun community. And that is your start of that, okay? So, I know I'm giving you a lot of information in a short time, but this is how we get up and running. The other thing is a brand ambassador. And a brand ambassador is just somebody that really is out wearing the jewelry, seeing what happens, taking orders as they come. Actually, I recommend, again, doing a little bit of all of these things. But like if I was out and about and someone said, oh my gosh, I love your necklace, which happens all the time. Some words that I can use is, oh my gosh, that makes me so happy because I'm in the jewelry business. And we have special sales and everything. I would absolutely love to get your opinion. Now, sometimes you can totally segue and turn it into a personal appointment. You really can. You meet them in Macy's and you offer to meet them in the food court or whatever, okay? But in today's world, the easiest, best thing to do is to be able to take your Facebook group, your VIP jewelry group, or whatever you opt to name it, and ask if you can add them to it. They love that. You add them to your jewelry group, and there you've just captured a new person out and about. Do they buy right away? No. It's very, very rarely a transactional event. But you don't know how many people you have lurking in the background, watching the things you're doing, and become fans of the jewelry. So we're always filling that up. And we teach you more about that, give you some better ideas about how to do that. But I mean, just imagine if the first day you're posting in your group, you already have a captive audience because you had a show. Let's say there were 10 people at the show in the Facebook group, and you just offer to do a jewelry drawing for anyone who adds 2 friends to the show, okay, to the group. You just went from 10 people to potentially 30. And let's say you do that once every couple weeks, once a month. You see where I'm going here? So when you're wondering, how did somebody like develop a group where they're selling $2,000 in jewelry a week or whatever, this is how it happens, but it doesn't happen overnight. Or they're going out and doing live shows once, maybe often or once in a while. And the first thing they're doing is saying, oh my gosh, I got to put you in my Facebook group so we can continue to keep in touch and you'll know how to get a hold of me. It's perfect, you guys. And then you go, oh my gosh, and if you have a really good friend, add them to the group. Or, you said so-and-so couldn't come. Let's add her to this group, okay? Or, all of that stuff works, you guys. So it works, but you have to be patient. You have to, be willing to cultivate it. And you got to have your first show, okay? So this is all good stuff. So that's your grand opening and debut show. And if you already have it booked, put your date in the comments right now. If you don't have it booked, put I will. Promise me that you will. And can I please just say too, I think we have some people here watching this that are not new. I think we have people here watching it who have been with Park Lane for a while. Can I just tell you something? If you didn't start the way you wish you had started, you can always start over. You can always start over. So if you wish that you could start over with some of these great things, let's start over. I feel very positive that whoever invited you into this business originally would be very happy to do a re-starter show for you or a re-intro show. Whether you're inactive or active or whatever. Maybe you did a show yesterday, but wear out your own carpet first and get another voice in there to help you get everybody all excited again. It works like a charm. So that's always an option. Okay, let me tell you how the weeks and months work with Park Lane, because we're a little bit different. But Wednesdays are very, very important days in Park Lane World. Wednesdays, okay? The reason is, I think this is wonderful. I'm so sorry, I keep getting the reflection in my glasses. I know that's gotta be off-putting. But the reason is that Park Lane really did want this to be a family-friendly business, and they didn't want us always to be nervous every single weekend. So seriously, my last business that I did, my last direct sales business, we had to have everything in by Sunday night, I think it was. So our weekends weren't as fun as they are here at Park Lane. So our close of business is Wednesdays. So anytime that you want to get paid that week, you want to make sure that your shows and orders and all of that are officially closed by midnight Pacific time on Wednesday. Okay, we have lots of people in California and over in the Pacific, okay? But you'll figure this out real quick, but I'll tell you right now that I haven't memorized, okay? So in Central Time, that's 2 a.m. in the morning, really, on Thursday. And Eastern Time, it's 3 a.m., right? Double check me on it, though. So, because we all run our own business and these are our responsibilities, but that's the time you want to get them in by. Why? Because we really love to show consistent weekly sales here in Park Lane. Most likely your leaders are rewarding and watching that. People get like special perks and bonuses based on what they do in a week. We'll talk about those in a little bit. But you don't want to like start a show and just leave it hanging forever. We want to do our best to get them closed out. So Wednesday is the magical day that ends a week, okay? In the same way, our months end on Wednesday. So whatever the last Wednesday of the calendar month is, that is the last day of that month. And I am talking to you right now on a Tuesday, August 27th, I think it is. Tomorrow is Wednesday, August 28th. Double check me again, you guys. But it's the last Wednesday of the month. Therefore, our August here in Park Lane World ends at midnight Pacific time tomorrow night. Any achievement or goal that we have for the month of August is everything has to be in by tomorrow night at midnight Pacific time. Therefore, August 29th is still August in the regular world, but guess what? It's the first day of September here in Park Lane. Now, you will get used to this, okay? And one of the things that's going to help you is this page. So this is the Grace and Grit Facebook page. It is for our organization. It is unbelievably helpful and full of all kinds of information. One of the things that happens is every single Thursday, the banner on this group changes. And our wonderful Jeanette, who takes care of all of our social media needs, puts up what's going on that week. So look at that banner every Thursday. Also, Park Lane will send you an email called The Loop, and it goes up every Thursday at 6 a.m. Central, telling you what's happening basically in the world at Park Lane that week. So sometimes it's in your spam, lots of times it's always in my spam. So I just search Loop and I find it every Thursday. But also the banner, somebody has gone to the trouble to take all of that information and put it in the banner for you. So you want to look at that banner, and you're watching me right now, and you maybe even can scroll to the top and see how that banner works. But it has deadlines, it has what the special sale is that week, it has anything that's going on. Okay, so that will be really helpful for you. So again, Wednesdays are very important days in Park Lane World, and we will keep you apprised of those dates. We tried to like remind you like last day of the month and all that, but really, you know, ultimately at the end of this all, we all run our own business and we're all responsible for our own success. So I still believe in keeping paper calendars. Other people are really good at setting alarms and stuff, but just notation that those are important days for us. One of the things that Park Lane does that rewards us for weekly activity is called Rich Rewards. Now, I told you I'm giving you a lot of information in a short time. See, Park Lane doesn't believe in leading with what I call the stick. They want to lead with the carrot. And if you're young, you might not even know what that means, but it's basically like if you were trying to get a little animal to come out and see you, you'd lead with a carrot, right? Or you could take a stick and bang them out of the bushes or whatever. Which one is more pleasant for the animal and actually works better? The carrot, right? So Park Lane wants to lead with the carrot. So we don't have monthly quotas. We don't have penalties. We don't lose our titles or anything if we don't do certain things. But we do want to be aware of what we can earn, and we don't want to miss out on what we can earn. So when you look at the Rich Rewards, and this is an important thing for you to know, is when you go into your Park Lane website, your Park Lane back office, one of the things that you'll see is contest and awards, downloadable forms, okay? The person who recruited you can really lead you through anything that you can do in the back office for Park Lane. In fact, I would set aside maybe, you can do it on Zoom and they can share screen. That works really well. Like you can be in front of your computer or phone or whatever, and they can be in front of theirs and they can show you how to do some of this stuff. I could go over a lot of it with you right now, but you know what I found, especially as a second grade teacher, until it's applicable, it won't mean anything to you. You'll remember that girl said something about that, but you won't remember what I said. So it's best to, on an as-needed basis, to just go and look at those things. So if you're a goal setter, I think it's so important and cool to actually print out the Rich Rewards brochure. And what it is it's goals, where when we meet those goals, we get free jewelry from Park Lane. So it's great because this jewelry is your jewelry. You earned it. You can sell it for 100% profit if you want to. You can give it away for presents. You can, do whatever it is that you want to do with that jewelry. You can put it into your display. But it's super smart because think about it. Not only are you not paying for it, but you're able to use it to sell. So you're just really benefiting on a couple different sides. Plus, because you have goals to set, you're getting paid on what you're selling, and it's setting you up for success. So one of the levels is when you sell $1,000 in the first 2 weeks of a month. Now remember, these are Wednesdays, so it's the first 2 Wednesdays. When you sell $1,000, you get to pick $250 worth of free jewelry. Pretty fun, right? In week 3, if you've sold $2,500 by the end of week 3 of a month, you get to pick another I think I'm saying this right. Oh no, then you get the item of the month. Park Lane releases certain items every single month, and you get the item of the month for free. When you sell $4,000 for the whole month, you get to pick more free jewelry. It's incremental, and you get to take advantage of all of it. So if you sell $4,000 and you did the other stuff too, you're you can pick up to $1,000 in jewelry every month. So take a look at those because those help you set really good goals for the week and for the month, and those all go with the Wednesdays. Okay, and you can read, but everything that I just said is actually exactly how it works. All right, I'm going to talk to you about one of the smartest things that you can do in your business right now. And this is something that the person that recruited you is probably going to be hesitant to talk to you about, because everybody is like, oh my gosh, I don't want to recruit, I just want to sell. I said that. I said to somebody, I'm just going to sell. I didn't even like the word recruit, and I still don't, because it sounds like the army or something, right? Of my way. Sorry, I went off internet for a while. I learned the error of my ways, and once I got it, I became a recruiting machine. And I'm going to tell you a couple things that happened to me that made me understand recruiting. And again, I am here to make you dream. Okay, so before I go into why you want to recruit or why it's easy and it's just an attitude, the first thing I want to tell you is that if you recruit one person into the company, you get a lifetime 5% raise. Do you know how much that is? People don't think in percentages, but there are very few people getting 5% raises in corporate America right now, and very, very few people that can say they got a 5% raise in their first week or month of starting a company. And this is something that you can do. And honestly, one of the easiest, smartest times to recruit is when you're new, because it's like girls don't even go to the bathroom by themselves. They're like, grab your purse, let's go. Come on, do this business with me. Okay, let's do it together. It really is. It's a very fun, easy time. And everybody knows one person, especially once they really get look what just happened. I just got my first paycheck. You need to do this with me too. I just made $300 that no one can ever take away from me. Why would you not do this kind of thing, right? But that one person could come in, do a few things, never do another thing, but you still got a new title and a 5% raise for the rest of your career. Always. Because of that one person. I don't have the first person I recruited in, but I still got the title and the raise, right? That would be almost all of us, okay? Because people come and go. But I just think that is a super brilliant thing to do when you're brand new. And even let the person that recruited you help, because maybe when you're having your first show or whatever, you can identify if she would be so good or she would be fun, or ask her, or we'll ask her. And again, it's a really smart reason for you to have a show, because we will determine to be able to help you recruit somebody right out of the gate. But let me tell you my attitude about recruiting and what changed about it, because the problem I was having was seeing it all from my vantage point, oh, well, I want to recruit so that I can get a raise. I want to recruit so that I can go on a trip or whatever. There's different things for which recruiting is one of the steps, And I was like, what changed is all of a sudden I realized I am absolutely raking it in. I am working a job where I'm working around my own hours It's unbelievably fun. I'm meeting new people. I'm doing the same thing everyone at my shows is doing, but they're spending money and I'm making money. And I'm doing it around the schedule that I have, and I'm still able to be wherever I need. Why would I not share this? It's my job to offer it. It's their job to say yes or no. The problem is I had to make sure I wasn't getting attached to the answer. You know, there's lots of times that we ask people to do things. Like, let's say you're passing around a box of candy and people say, no, thank you. You don't go into the fetal position and think like, oh my gosh, they don't like me. I'm so embarrassed. I'm never doing that again. But that's what I needed to get over. Now, if I found myself trying to convince them, well, the first three letters of convince is con, and then I was back to making it about me again. But as far as offering it, encouraging, and saying how much I liked it, you should do this with me, yeah, that you're not recruiting because you're not asking anybody. So when you're asking people, you're going to. And I've had people have so many awful jobs, awful jobs. And their bosses say to them, especially if it was like family owned, they'd say, you can leave, but please find your own replacement. And they found a replacement within a day. And I go, you found a replacement for that job that you hated, that you made hardly any money and you couldn't stand your boss? And they go, yeah. And I go, well, then please tell me why. We're not recruiting 100 people a day here at Park Lane. So don't make the mistake that I made by just having a really bad attitude about it from day one and being afraid like your friends and family were going to be like, here we go. Because really, it's their job to say yes or no. It's your job just to ask. And when you're just having fun and showing them what's going on, this is really a relatively easy thing, especially that first one. And I want to see all of you getting that 5% raise immediately. Okay, our group page. I think we pretty much talked about that on the Grace and Grit page, on which you are on there right now if you're watching this, okay? Not right now, because you need to listen to me because I have very fragile ego. But when we're finished here, one of the things that you can do is go to the top of the page and you will see this tab called Guides, Guides, okay? That guide area is magical. It is filled with so much information. I don't even want you to go look at all the information because you'll get overwhelmed. But there are so many people that put so much work into those guides. My company vice president, Michelle Zito, she is featured in a lot of them. She used to be a teacher, a really good, like, expressive teacher. And she took her own time and energy and did a lot of these guides. And she leads you through with these little videos. They are stellar, okay? You can use the search feature. So you know that little magnifying glass at the top? So one I would tell you, okay, write this down, is you search for share a cart. Share a cart. Got that? Okay. You'll search for that. It will come up. You can go on the little YouTube video and Michelle walks you through how to do share a cart. And what that means is like when somebody sends you a wish list of what jewelry they'd like, you can throw it into a cart, send them back the cart. They can click on the cart, pay with their own credit card, put all their information in, and you just made all that money and all you had to do was share a cart. If you're at a show, you can share a cart, okay? So she will show you how to do that. And so can we, okay? We can lead you through that, but that is a wonderful step. Another one that's on there that's really great is, that would be really great for you right now, lots of great stuff, but is like how to choose your kit. So you just search for choose a kit. And one will come up and it will actually tell you some things are eligible for the $600 in jewelry right now. Some things aren't, depending on the price, but you want to make sure that you have a very nice variety of jewelry, blah, blah, blah. All of that right in that little video. Now, there is an app called Boards. Just like, you know, chalk boards, okay? It's called Boards. It is a free app. I recommend, definitely, that you get this app. This app is on our phones and it has all of the same information in it that we have in our guides, but it's much easier to access because, you know, we always have our phones, you're out and about, you don't have to, sometimes when you get on Facebook, you all of a sudden find yourself scrolling and getting all lost and everything else is going on. With Boards, you just go in there, you tap on what you need, up it comes. And our wonderful, we have a committee of people, Seisha, Janine, and Jennifer Ewert. They do a magnificent job of keeping that boards up to date. So write that down, boards. It's very easy to get the app and very easy to get what we need. And we have instructions even how to use it. We have instructions on how to sign up for boards. Ask somebody, even on this page if you want to, and someone will send you the instructions on how to get on boards. But you're going to be very glad that you did that because it's so full of great information. When you're running your VIP group, or just doing on your regular Facebook group, one of the things that you want to do is post images. You know, if you're doing an online show, you want to be able to have a script of what, you know, maybe the show's going to last 3 days and you're like, what should I put up for each day for this little Facebook group for their show? Well, guess what? We have all of that done for you. And again, you can find this information on boards, or you can find it on a whole different Facebook page that we started. And again, I apologize because I know you're getting a lot of information in a short time. But we actually have a page called One Stop Lewandowski. Just put in One Stop Lewandowski, my last name. One Stop Lewandowski. Again, whoever recruited you will help you, or we'll help you on this page if you want to ask us. We'll send you the link. But the One Stop Lewandowski page has a plethora, just an abundance of images for you to use. And they're in different little folders and done really well. We have a gal named Jeanette. You'll hear her name all the time. I actually compensate her for doing this for us. She is absolutely stellar, brilliant. Park Lane wants to hire her for the whole company. I think we won't let her. We can't let her go. She's so awesome. But she has created entire scripts for you to use for a Facebook show. She has created 30-day content, or 31, depending on the number of days in a month, so that you could decide starting, tomorrow's the first day of, but September 1st, you could say, okay, I have 30 days of content that I can put on my VIP group now, starting now, okay? Keep checking in. She puts new stuff up all the time. As you get more savvy at this job and how to use social media, you probably can't even realize the brilliance of what's there until you really start to buckle in. But this is amazing, you guys, and it is something that our organization provides that no other organization within Park Lane provides, that we can literally make this a cut and paste business for you. Okay? I'm so glad you're here and being able to hear all this stuff. Sometimes I feel like if everybody could hear all of this information right from the get-go, they would all join, but then I'd probably lose them after 10 minutes. How are we doing on time? Oh, I like the little applause. I can't see that I have a clock here, and I hope I'm not keeping you too long. All right. Connecting consistently with people so that we really do have like where you can literally, depending on your schedule, just like taking online courses, you really can train yourself using the guides and the boards and everything. But we have so many opportunities here for you to learn, and they really are very helpful if you stay connected. You are in business for yourself, but not by yourself, and it does get a little lonely if you don't check in. So check in with your leader, because your particular leader probably has different training courses, different training meetings, workshops, whatever, online on certain days. Okay, we have things that we do. Company Vice President Michelle Zito and I go live every single Thursday at 10:30 a.m. Central. We call it the Thursday 30. We go live on this page and we tell you what's going on that week, even though it's in the banner. But we go a step further and tell you maybe some very clever ways, creative ways to use what's there, maybe some ideas we have for the week for you to gain additional business. We will take you into the one-stop group very often to show you what new content has been added there for your use. So it is a good way, 30 minutes, to just kind of check in and hear what we're doing for you that week. And then just various different things like that. I've interviewed new people on here, whatever. There's so many neat things going on all the time. A lot of ex-teachers in this group, and we take our job really seriously. All right, in Park Lane, you are going to hear, let me see how I'm doing on time. I don't want to lose you. You are going to hear us talk about net and non. Net and non, okay? Net is what we get paid on, and non is non-commissionable. So when we do the sale, buy any 2 items for regular price, get any 4 for half, that's always net. That's all items that we are going to get paid on, and we absolutely love them. We also love the non, because the non is what helps us get bigger nets. So let me just explain this to you, okay? So when they spend, right now it's when they spend $69. That's what's going on. If you're watching this at a different time than this week, it's normally $90. Normally when someone spends $90, they get to add any item they want up to $200, really, or more, for $35, okay? We do not get paid on that $35, but we get paid on the $90 and all of that makes them reach for that. So we love it. We absolutely love it. Style drops. You will see us put out special monthly specials and style drops, normally up to once a week, sometimes more, okay? Style drops are items that are like, when they're gone, they're gone. They're like, here you go, they're special, they're exclusive, they're on a special sale, you get it today, use it or lose it kind of thing, okay? They're an absolutely brilliant marketing strategy because, as you can imagine, when you're running those VIP groups, people, like, they get involved. You know, they're like, what's going on? What else can I get? Oh my gosh, that is so pretty, I gotta get on it. The great thing for us is Park Lane says that when they buy a style drop, it has to be associated normally with a $40 order. So that's net. So they have to spend $40 in order to get this special style drop. But the reason I'm telling you this is, like, sometimes we have brand new people come in, okay? And they sell 20 style drops. And then they wonder why their paycheck's not bigger, because we don't get paid on style drops. So style drops should be used in a very clever way. Style drops should be used to get people excited to buy something when really, literally, they might have just been at a show yesterday. And they laugh and they'll be like, darn it, Mary Grace, or whatever. I don't show style drops at a captive audience show because they're gonna buy and everything seems new to them. But once I get them in that VIP group, if I can drop those style drops and get them excited about those style drops, they'll find something else for $40 to buy so that they can get in on that exclusive group. And those style drops, you guys, are things like that maybe should retail for close to $200 and Park Lane's offering them for $30 or $35. But when they're gone, they're gone. And there will be disappointed people because when they're gone, they're gone. They got to go fast, okay? I just see misunderstanding about that sometimes when people are new. And I want you breaking the bank. I want your first paycheck to be out. Woo! You know, to be able to show everyone, take a picture of it. So let's get your nets, okay? So I want you selling style drops and using them in the right way. I want you selling those $35 items because they drive the regular sales up. But I mostly want you selling the regular sale, buy 2 for regular, get 4 for half, because I want you getting paid. I want you getting paid a lot of money. And that is actually the best deal for the customers anyway. So I always want to get that kind of out there. So net is what we get paid on, but anything that's a contest, like when I was talking to you about the rich rewards, that's net plus non. So it's very beneficial, and we absolutely love it, but that is the way that the net and nons work. And again, I'm giving you a lot of information in a short time. Sparkle boxes. We have a monthly subscription available called Sparkle Box. Sparkle Box is when somebody signs up for it for $24 a month, every single month around the first week. They ship out on the 1st, like so September 1st, our next ones will go out. And in their mailbox, they get this delightful surprise. It's exclusive. It cannot be bought in a book. It cannot be gotten anywhere else. They have promised us it's worth at least $80-something, and our customer's getting it for $24, okay? $24 for one item, $39 for 2. So there's standard and there's premium, and they get to decide which one they want. You guys, these are not, okay? I hear a lot of people in the beginning get disappointed about that. But again, this is a marketing move on Park Lane's part, and it's so smart. Because if somebody is being reminded every single month about Park Lane, and then we're able to come in and put up in our VIP group to our Sparkle Box members look what goes with that item so well, right? And we can show them other things that they can buy. It's a super, super, super smart thing to do. So don't overlook the power of getting people to subscribe to Sparkle Boxes, because they are really wonderful. And this is a little complicated, but when you become a leader, you will get some overrides on Sparkle Boxes. So, becomes a leader is when you recruit that first person. So, keep it in your mind, but just know, I don't want anyone disappointed the first time they sell a Sparkle Box and they don't get paid on that, because again, those are non. And really, you guys, if you look at all of these logically, the $35 items, the Style Drops, the Sparkle Boxes, they are so inexpensive that there's nothing left to pay us on. And the whole reason for those items is to help us have greater sales, greater interest from customers, help us to spread our brand. It's all about us, but we want to make sure we're using them right. So I always like to kind of get in there and let you know about that. Okay, 5 more minutes. All right. One of the things someone said to me when I was new, and I say it to everybody else, okay, and I know the world has changed, and there's a lot of you out there that only want to do online. But there is a business principle out there of the power of 5. Basically, book 5 to thrive. And they say when you want something to really take off and be successful, ideally, you want to purposefully and strategically go in 5 different directions. So I'm going to translate for you in our world of direct sales. In our world, going in 5 different directions means if you really want to take off, then what I recommend that you do is you get 5 shows on your calendar. They can be Zoom, they can be Facebook, they can be in real life, but I recommend that you get 5 shows on your calendar. And ideally, I want you to cram them into a 3 to 4 week time frame. Even if you don't want to do that many forever, there's some really neat things that are going to happen for you when you do that, okay? First of all, you're not going to be nervous anymore. You're nervous when you first start, but when you do 5 in a row, you're getting it. You're trained. You trained yourself because it was repetitive. Like if you do 1 show every 8 weeks, you're going to be a rep, right? So that helps, okay? You get an amazing paycheck. So that wet water committee that's out there, I showed it to my husband and he said, you go girl, okay? So it does that for you. So you get a really nice paycheck. It's a ripple effect, all right? Because you're going to do your first 5 shows, and then those 5 shows are going to want, people at those shows are going to want to have shows, and that's when you take control of your calendar and you decide, what nights do I want to work? How often do I want to do this? What am I willing to do, And then you can take control of that, which is really super cool. And then you just want to make sure you're going in 5 different directions. Because if you take your 5 best friends, or 5 sisters or something, it's just going to implode. So ideally, what you want to do is think, how about, I remember someone said this to me too, because I was a transplant to this area. And you guys, I really didn't have any friends here when I started my business. But I remember the gal that recruited me saying, they figure that everybody really has a circle of at least 250 to 800 people around them. They're maybe not their best friends. They're not their birthday party friends necessarily, but they know that many people. Everybody does. So when you start really looking at who could be doing these shows or have these shows for you, that it's pretty powerful. And also it's pretty powerful that if you get one of those people to have a show, that they have 250 to 800 people in their network, right? So just think of the possibilities, not that they're going to invite them all to the show, but just she knew a friend and she knew a friend and she knew a friend, and just the level of influence that just one person has. So what I did, and what I recommend that you do is remember that, what makes America, America is free enterprise. And everybody really is selling something. They're either selling a service or a good. And people that you have chosen to give your money to for some of these services, they are generally very happy to do the same for you. So when you start thinking about that, you're like, okay, who do I pay to watch my kids? Who are the babysitters? Who does my hair? Who does my nails? Where do I go to the post office? Where do I get my car work done? I mean, there are so many opportunities. What little boutique do I shop in all the time? There are so many opportunities, or just different levels of your life. Who are my kids friends with? who from my husband's family, who from my family, who from my husband's work, who from where I used to work, okay? So it's just kind of making a big list and being willing, and whoever recruited you will help you with words to say, but just kind of getting the word out there. And of course, when you have your grand opening show, to invite all of them to your grand opening, because then the person who recruited you can help you to book those people and get your 5 shows. So would you, in the comments for me, put the number 5 if this is something that you are willing to commit to and work on, so that you can absolutely bust this business out of the seams. See a number 5. And I will be doing some drawings for jewelry for all of you that stayed on and watched tonight. I have to go and look because I can't see right now, but I appreciate you so much. You'll have additional questions, I'm sure, and we are here for you. We are so entirely delighted to have you. Again, congratulations on being one of the top 5% of people in the world, being willing to take a chance on something. There is so much more to enjoy, to learn, to grow. I've had so many people tell me, like, it's so much than just selling jewelry. It's so much more than that. It has served so many other needs for me, just from the growth factor and stuff. It really has. I very often say that our job is like a personal development growth plan with a profit. So thank you so much. Ooh, keep putting that in the comments. I'm so proud to know you. And thanks so much for joining me. I hope I didn't keep you too long. Bye, everybody.